excited. So I just want to kind of crack open what we're doing and give a little background, what to expect and all those fun things. So we are actually celebrating the spring equinox on Sunday, March 20th. We can celebrate little things. And I think that is what life is all about. Is yes, there is always going to be some kind of chaos going on, hopefully never of this magnitude, but there's always so much to celebrate too. And there's still so much beauty in life, and the fact that we get to wake up every day and live, you know, in a different way than a lot of people are having to wake up and live their day. So we get the chance to celebrate. So let's celebrate for ourselves, celebrate for spring, celebrate for the people who are not able to celebrate, people who have passed, people who are, you know, in fear and lots of different things. And so we get to sort of collectively send our love to ourselves, to them, with your singing bowls, with your sound bath. I am so excited. I purposely chose to have a sound bath on spring because I felt like we just all needed it. You know, sound baths are really, really beautiful. I've attended quite a few myself, but I've never attended one of yours, which I am so, so excited for. But healing baths or sound baths could actually be really, really healing on such an energetic level, an emotional level, recalibrate the nervous system. You know, a lot of people, even though all of us are dealing with something, there's some kind of like trauma that's going on, we're still kind of reeling from something. And so for me, looking at it from that perspective, a sound bath is so collectively healing. And one of the reasons why I wanted to create True North Collective, which is going to be that virtual membership community where I'm bringing in practitioners such as yourself every month to give a healing experience. I some of the greatest healing experiences, the different things that I have learned in my own journey, have been in a group environment. And it's safer that way in a way, because when you're really new to these things, they can be a little like wooey, and you kind of don't dive head first because you don't really know what to expect. But it feels a little bit more cushy and safer when it's virtual, when it's in a group, especially when it's recorded, right? Because you don't feel like you're going to be like, you know, entering a lion's den or anything like that. So this is purposely recorded. It's purposely going to be sent out in an email. So this isn't going to be a live event. Dr. K, you and I have talked about herding cats these days on live workshops. It's just not working for me. And I would much rather you access this workshop and this sound bath and the different things that we're doing in your own timing when it's good for you. Not necessarily when it's good for us, but when it's good for you. And so in that way, it's going to be very easily accessible that way. And so the whole sound bath itself is going to be 30 minutes. And so what to kind of expect from the whole event is there's actually going to be two components. There's going to be the sound bath, which you, Dr. K, are going to be just gracing everybody's ears and bodies with. I'm so excited. So that'll be about 30 minutes. Again, it's going to be recorded. You can access it anytime you want. It's not live. It's going to be emailed to you, along with a self-care workshop where I am going to virtually travel to Sweden, and we are going to learn how to fika, which is basically a Swedish concept of taking a real break, and usually with a baked good in the company of friends or different people. I actually am lucky enough to live in a building where there is a couple who just moved in from Sweden. And so I'm actually talking with them about how to actually fika in real life in Sweden, but also how do we bring that into our lives here? Because, you know, different international self-care concepts are amazing when you have a collective support where everybody's kind of practicing these things. It's kind of different when you are in, you know, like the US, where we don't necessarily practice taking real breaks. That's really not part of our culture. Like, why would we take a break when we can do more, right? Like, I'm silly. So being able to kind of do these things and bring them into an environment where, like, how does this actively apply to my life? Like, how can I bring this into my life in a way that actually is sustainable, in a way that works? And so, you know, the event itself, the email will go out on or around Sunday, March 20th. People that would actually get the most bang for coming here, the most excitement, the most most joy and the excitement and the most healing experience, I think, are the people who don't necessarily always take time for their self-care. The people who are really, really busy, who work, who are single parents, who are caregivers, who are, people who sometimes don't have 5 seconds to pee by themselves. Those are the people that would actually probably get the biggest benefit from coming. I love that question too. So after the event, I'm hoping people are going to kind of have a different perspective, and they're going to feel like self-care and putting themselves first and self-love and like real self-care is way easier than what they thought, and they're excited to do it. Because once you start to feel like how connected you can get to yourself and how clear your intuition can start to speak to you, because that takes practice. That isn't something that's instantaneous. That takes, some time to kind of develop, because we're so not used to spending time by ourselves and like hearing our voice and hearing these things. And so, and also, I'm hoping that people have a bigger perspective of the different healing modalities that are out there for them as well, like how people are living their lives a little bit differently, but also the wide range of practitioners and modalities that are available to kind of help clear that clutter and help them kind of connect better to themselves. Because at the end of the day, you are your own healer. Like me, you, every practitioner, we're just the support. We're just the person that helps to guide and helps to clear. But at the end of the day, it's your connection to yourself. It's the time that you're spending with yourself that actually matters. And I think that is one of the biggest things that I want people to feel and understand, is it's not necessarily about what you do, it's how you are with yourself. It's the time that you're sitting in stillness with yourself, even if that's only a couple minutes, because Lord knows, I know how crazy life can get, and those moments of stillness seem to completely escape. But that's, where boundaries and where we have to be like, okay, this is something I need to fill my own cup. And that's one of the biggest things too, is that we often look outside of ourselves to fill our cups, or we expect other people to make space for us. We expect other people to kind of pour into us. And, sometimes those things happen, but very rarely is that a consistent thing. And so when we can learn to self-generate, we can learn to sort of fill our cups up every single day, so we're full. And so now we're giving from our love. We're parenting from our love, rather than from depletion or from exhaustion. So I can't talk. Or we're, caregiving. I have a dog that has been sick for the last year and a half with metastatic cancer. He is a full-time job, and it is exhausting. And sometimes I feel like I don't have 5 minutes by myself, where his energy is not like, completely all over the place, right? I get it. I totally get it. It's different for everybody. But I think at the end of the day, what I really want people to feel from this celebration, from this wonderful launch, is the renewal that comes with spring. And, I think that's a beautiful piece with the sound bath, is that it can kind of, in my experiences with sound baths, and you could probably speak to it a little bit more, is it almost kind of like shakes some fear and like those lower vibrations out of you, and replaces it with like the good stuff. And it's not necessarily about looking through the rose colored glasses or pretending like the bad stuff doesn't exist. It does, right? But when we can kind of be in a different state, we carry ourselves differently, and we have different experiences with those around us. And we can really start to magnetize those beautiful synchronicities and blessings and miracles just from how we are. Like,